In a prestigious company located in a bustling city, a major crisis had emerged. The company had been negotiating a multi-million-dollar deal with an important client for months, but everything was about to fall apart. The CEO, the managers, and the top executives were all gathered in a large meeting room, anxiously debating how to salvage the situation. They had tried every tactic they knew, but nothing was working. The client was unhappy and was threatening to walk away. In the middle of this chaos, a humble gardener named Samuel was trimming the bushes just outside the large glass windows of the meeting room. Samuel was an older man, quiet and unassuming, who had worked for the company for over 30 years. No one paid much attention to him. He was simply part of the background. The CEO, in frustration, walked over to the window and saw Samuel working calmly, despite the tension inside. On a whim, the CEO opened the window and half-jokingly said, "Samuel, you've been here longer than most of us. What would you do if you were in my shoes?" Everyone in the room chuckled, amused at the idea of asking a gardener for business advice. But Samuel, without missing a beat, put down his shears, looked the CEO straight in the eye and said, "If a tree isn't growing well, I don't try to change the sun or the soil. I look at the roots first." The room fell silent. The CEO, taken aback, thought for a moment. He realized that in their desperate attempts to fix the deal, they had been focusing on external factors, trying to please the client, adjusting terms, and making promises they couldn't keep. But they hadn't addressed the root of the problem. The client didn't feel heard or respected. The CEO thanked Samuel, closed the window, and turned back to his team with a new plan. Instead of pushing more offers, they called the client and simply asked, "What do you need from us? How can we make this partnership truly work for you?" The client, surprised by this genuine question, softened. It was the first time anyone had directly asked for their input. They explained their concerns, and with that clarity, the company was able to address the issues at the root. The deal was saved, and the relationship became stronger than ever. Later that day, the CEO went outside to thank Samuel personally. He found him tending to a row of flowers, whistling quietly. "You saved our deal today, Samuel," the CEO said, shaking his head in disbelief. "How did you know?" Samuel smiled, dusted the dirt off his hands, and replied simply, "I may not know business, but I do know people. And I've learned that if you want something to grow, you have to start with the roots." The story of Samuel's wisdom spread throughout the company, becoming a lesson for everyone. When faced with a complex problem, don't get lost in the noise. Go back to the basics and start at the root. Sometimes, the greatest wisdom comes from the most unexpected places. In our rush to solve problems, we often overlook the simplest truths. By listening and understanding the core issue, we can find solutions that are both simple and profound. If you know someone who could use a little reminder about the power of listening and understanding, share this story with them. Sometimes, the simplest advice can change everything, just like it did for Samuel and the CEO. Let's spread the wisdom of humility and the value of truly hearing each other. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. You never know whose life you might touch by sharing a story that could make all the difference.